Have you ever wondered about some of the most bizarre laws from medieval times? Well, you're in for quite an adventure as we delve into 4 peculiar medieval laws that paint a vivid picture of the judicial mindset of the era. These laws might seem outlandish to us now, but they were a crucial part of the societal fabric back then. From trials that relied on divine intervention to attacks on beards, these laws reflect a time when the line between the supernatural and the natural was blurred, and societal norms were enforced with an iron hand. They offer a fascinating glimpse into the fears, beliefs, and values of medieval society, revealing how rulers and the church sought to control morality, health, and even personal hygiene. So gear up for a curious exploration of the past as we journey back to medieval times and explore some of the most peculiar laws that governed society. Hold on to your seats, this ride through history promises to be a riveting one. First up, let's unravel the mystery behind the law of trial by ordeal. This is a riveting chapter in the book of medieval justice systems. When evidence was scant in crime cases, the accused had to face an ordeal, a test of sorts to prove their innocence or guilt. Among the many varieties of ordeals, 2 stand out for their sheer drama: the ordeal by fire and the ordeal by water. Picture this, the accused clutching a red-hot iron bar and striding 9 feet forward. After this fiery walk, their hand was covered with a bandage. If the hand started to fester in the next few days, they were pronounced guilty. Then there was the ordeal by water, a chilling counterpart to its fiery sibling. The accused was tied up and dunked into water. If they floated, they were found guilty. The reasoning, the water being a pure element, rejected the impure or the guilty. These trials were hinged on the belief in divine judgment. The medieval folks held a steadfast belief that God would perform a miracle to protect the innocent. So the next time you complain about a jury duty summons, remember, it could have been a red-hot iron bar or a deep pool of water. Next, we'll sift through the medieval wardrobe and examine the laws against cross-dressing. Picture this. 14th century England, a time when it was deemed illegal for men to dress as women and vice versa. An era where attire wasn't just about personal style or comfort, but a regulated aspect of societal norms. The rationale behind this law was rooted in maintaining social order and preventing what was perceived as immoral behavior. The idea was that by dressing in the garb of the opposite sex, people could disguise their identities, thus enabling them to engage in deeds deemed unsavory by the societal standards of the time. Moreover, the medieval church played a significant role in upholding these laws, wielding the biblical verse of Deuteronomy 22:5, which prohibits men and women from wearing each other's clothing. The Church's endorsement of these laws demonstrates the profound influence of religion in shaping societal norms and legal frameworks. What happened to those who dared to defy these laws, you ask? Well, the punishments ranged from public humiliation to imprisonment, a clear indication of how seriously these laws were enforced to uphold societal values. So, the next time you pick out an outfit, remember, in medieval times it could have landed you in a whole lot of trouble. Moving on, let's trim down the peculiarities of the beard tax. Picture this. The year is 1535 and King Henry VIII, a man who sported his own robust beard, decided to introduce a curious new law. This law, known as the beard tax, required any man who dared to grow a beard for more than 2 weeks to pay a tax for the privilege. But here's the twist. The amount of tax wasn't the same for everyone. Oh no, it varied depending upon the wearer's social status. So, if you were a wealthy gentleman flaunting your luxurious beard, you'd have to fork out more than your less affluent counterparts. Now, as you can imagine, this law stirred up quite a bit of controversy. Why would a king who himself sported a beard introduce such a tax? Was it a classic case of do as I say, not as I do, or was there a more strategic reason behind it? We may never know for sure. The beard tax wasn't just a one-time thing either. After Henry's reign, his daughter, Queen Elizabeth I, decided to bring back the beard tax. She declared that the money collected from the tax would be used for the public good. So the next time you decide to grow a beard, remember, it could have cost you in medieval England. Lastly, we dive into the murky waters of medieval bathing laws. Yes, you heard that right. Bathing, a daily habit for most of us today, was once a legal conundrum in parts of medieval Europe. In the days after the Black Death, public baths were seen as more than just a place of relaxation and cleanliness. They were viewed as breeding grounds for disease, with the warm water and steamy air thought to be teeming with unseen maladies. This fear was so potent that laws were enacted discouraging the use of these public baths. The apprehension didn't stop at public baths, though. Personal hygiene was also subject to fear and scrutiny. People believed that diseases could infiltrate the body through pores in the skin, especially when these pores were open and vulnerable in warm bath water. Imagine that, being afraid of your own skin. By the 16th century, bathing had become so uncommon that it was said Queen Elizabeth only bathed once a month, whether she needed it or not. That's a far cry from our modern standards, wouldn't you say? These laws and fears around bathing provide a fascinating glimpse into the medieval mindset. They show us a society grappling with disease and the unknown, trying to protect itself in any way it could, even if it meant staying a bit, ripe. So the next time you enjoy a relaxing bath, remember, in medieval times, it could have been a legal and health hazard.